I got arrested so many times. Made me the man who I am today. You know the worst one is, one day I'm in Golders Green. I get rushed by 15, 20 guys, beat me up, and then I end up getting arrested. Where everything turned around is I went to a party, and then this guy came up and started shooting up the place. And then after I left that place, I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm not gonna be doing this anymore. God forbid. The day I retire, these guys are about to go in there and start hiding, boy, because I'm gonna come and collect my money. The day I announce retirement, if you owe me money, hide. That's what I'm saying. I'm Derek Chisora, off the cuff.
Hey, big man. How are you? Yeah, I'm good. Nice to see you.
See you, man.
Yeah.
How have you been?
I'm good. How are you?
How's life treating you?
Good, thank you.
Good stuff.
You're looking very lean.
I'm trying to be.
Derek, let me take you back to the beginning. Growing up in Mbare, Zimbabwe, what was life like?
Great. I enjoyed life. Life was amazing. It's good. Best childhood ever. Because all kids play with each other. Didn't care much about anything else, about your food. It's all about food, what you're gonna have for lunch, what you're gonna have for dinner, you know. And we did everything together as kids. Next door neighbors, other kids, the whole street.
You had a great education, didn't you?
Church-wide boys school, yeah.
And what kind of school was it?
It was more like it was half boarding school. Concentrated on lots of rugby and cricket and tennis. The usual stuff, but it was quite cool. I enjoyed it.
Were you being trained there to be a lawyer or an accountant or a brain surgeon or a doctor?
Nah, I was just going to school for the sake of going to school.
Did you play a lot of sports yourself?
Nah, that's what most people don't get. I didn't play a lot of sports. I like to play a lot of sports, but I was so at it. I just had to be. I was like, I want to be outside, so I became the first aider.
You were down with all the sports players, but doing the first aid?
Yeah, rugby, swimming. Who needs first aid at swimming, to be honest with you? But I was there. Rugby, football. You know, if someone get injured on the pitch, I run on the pitch and just, are you okay? Spray or pour water on his injury and give him water. He's fine, run it off. Yeah.
When you moved to the UK at 16,
Yeah.
was that a big change for you?
Damn right, it was a big change. I can actually remember it like it was yesterday. I came out Gatwick, it just hit me. It was like, geez, it's cold. I was like to my mother, Mom, it's cold. She's like, don't worry, it's gonna warm up. I'm like, it's not gonna warm up. I run back inside. She had to buy me another jacket. I was like, I'm freezing. And my childhood in the United Kingdom, I enjoyed it. You know, that's when the Labour government was in power, Tony Blair. There was so many things happening for young kids, youth clubs. You know, if you were 18 or 19, you can go claim job seekers allowance. You don't have to go and do anything bad, you know, things like that. For me, I enjoyed it. You know, so my best friend died a couple of years ago. But before he died, we enjoyed life together.
Did you get into trouble at all?
Oh yeah, I got arrested so many times.
For what?
Huh? Petty stuff. But made me the man who I am today. You know the worst one is, one day I'm in Golders Green. I get rushed by 15, 20 guys, beat me up, and then I end up getting arrested. I don't forget that day. I'm like, I'm standing, I'm like, officer, I'm the one who got beaten up. No, we saw you fighting. I'm like, of course I want to fight the 20 guys. Everybody's run off, and I'm getting arrested. But it was good though.
When you say it made you the man you are today, did you have to learn to look after yourself then when you came here?
No, it just made me understand life, made me understand to be humble with others and just be aggressive with others, you know? Be nice to everybody. Like to watch good fights. And let's watch, just look at a little bit of the up-and-coming young fighters. And then I can just tell who's gonna make it and who's not gonna make it, straight off the cuff.
So you turned pro at 19.
Yes, sir.
You'd only had, think, 20, 30 amateur fights?
Yeah. I remember that time, yeah. You know, Finchley, John Oliver, Jim, and Pat, and Joe, and Sean Murphy, he's still there. And I think where everything turned around is I went to a party, and then this guy came up and started shooting up the place. God rest his soul, he died now. And then after I left that place, I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm not gonna be doing this anymore. So Finchley used to have every Saturday, they'll have the boys come in in the morning and go to the park, big massive park, and then we'll run 5K. I get there, I get on the bus, I'm like, I'm going. And I was dedicated, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna beat everybody today. And I was very chubby as well. Got there at 6:30, I waited outside the gym. Everybody arrived around 7:30. And then everybody was shocked. From that moment, that's when everything turned around for me, in boxing-wise. We did that run. And I forgot this kid's name. He was the fastest runner in the club. As we come out the end of the race, there's a massive hill at the end of the race. He takes off, I take off. As he come out first, he came out first, I came out second, but. And then all the coaches looked at me like, and I just dropped down, like, I could not breathe. And after that, boy, I didn't look anywhere. I was just focused on winning what I need to win.
They saw your commitment.
I think I drove myself, and then I had a big cheerleader in my life, and that was my mother. Did you run? Yes, Mom. No, you didn't run. I didn't hear you wake up. Go running. Yeah, but, yeah.
Was there a moment, apart from that you realised by going to Finchley Amateur Boxing Club that you knew you could do it as a boxer? Did you know you could do it as a boxer?
No. You know what? Man, you know, I didn't walk into Finchley Boxing Club like I'm just walking in, come to train, no. My probation officer, you know, signed me up, and then for the first year, the Metro Police paid for my lessons and then bought me my first boxing gloves and first boxing boots. I remember that. You know, Peter, PD8, if you're watching, thank you very much. Look at me now. You know, I think as a young black man, yes, I was going on a bad route. And most young black men in the United Kingdom, they go on a bad route until they have somebody in their life to say, try this, do this, do this. You know, for me, I was going on a bad route. I think if I was gonna die, I would have died time ago. I think God is still saving me for a simple reason here, because, you know, at 5 years old, I had measles. I was rotting while I was sick, and while I was sleeping, I nearly died at 5 years old. My immune system was low. My heart pulse was bad, you know, and then so many instances happened, you know, when I came here, when people robbed me, shot my car, you know, I've been in so many fights, you know, things like that. But there's a reason why I'm still here. So I don't think so. I think there's a reason why I'm still here.
You get into your professional career.
Yes, sir.
And you quickly make a reputation within the first 2 years, 3 years, of being British boxing's bad boy.
Yes.
Your 10th fight.
Yeah.
You're suspended for biting Paul Butlin.
I didn't
Talk
bite
us through that one.
I sneezed. I was just tired of getting paid peanuts. I want to get paid real money.
Did you actually bite him?
I did bite him, yeah. I did bite him. Yeah. With my gum shit on as well.
Were you influenced by Mike Tyson at that point, or was that in your mind? Was it just raw animal?
Listen, I did it in a perfect way that the ref didn't see it. Yeah. And I won the fight. Yeah, it's only this new technology or these cameras messed me up. You know, there's so many tricks I have, but now when they slow everything down now, VAR, I get doomed. So I'm just, yeah, I did buy it.
You have that crazy fearless streak in you that you'll do anything you feel like at certain moments.
It's difficult now, because my daughter Googles her daddy. The problem is private schools, put her in a private school now. And then she goes in there. And then the first thing she Googles was her daddy. And then she comes home. She goes, Mommy, I Googled daddy. And then she goes, Daddy, I Googled you today. So I played it like I didn't hear her. Daddy, I Googled you today. What did you see? I say you flip up the table. I'm like, wow. And I was like the biggest thing in her life now. Like, this is my daddy. But I don't want it to. So now I have to like tone it down a little bit because she Googles her daddy.
You have 2 fights with Tyson Fury in your career. You're both 14-0 when you meet the first time.
Those 2 fights, yeah, get me so upset because bad management and bad promotion, that is it. Do you understand? This is nothing else. I won everything. Oh, you have to fight him. Tell me, why am I fighting him? Oh, it's a mask. But what's the mask? I'm about to fight him. Oh, you're fighting on his bill, on his show. What happened in your show? Oh, this and this. How much I'm getting paid? Oh, you're getting paid this. Why? Oh, this and this. I'm like, bad management. But there was no need for a second fight. I've won everything. What was the second fight there for? Do you know what? I never said this in publicly, bro, before, you know. And I think between me and him, he knows, yeah, that, you know, I really like Tyson. He's a good character in the game, you know. He's a very intelligent man. But the Tyson I boxed at that time, he was a cheating basically. Yeah, and he's a I call him a for that time. But the Tyson now, he's a cool guy. I like him. Or maybe it's because he's a billionaire. He's a millionaire now. The old broke Tyson is he's a cheating But that's between me and him anyway. He knows what he did, and I don't like it.
I was with him the other day. I asked him, who do you still want to fight? And he said, I still want my trilogy fight with Derek. Do you want a trilogy fight with him?
Yeah. I'll have that one with Tyson. I'll have another one with Dylan. That's it. And I'm definitely gonna have a second one with David. Yeah, but you know what? After all this is said and done, I'm telling you, man, we can all sit down, Dylan, Tyson, AJ, everybody in the same room and break bread together.
I'm going to take you back to 2012.
The Olympics.
Well, before the Olympics,
Yeah.
You went to Munich. You put up an amazing fight against Vitaly Klitschko. I was there. You gave Vitaly Klitschko a very, very tough fight. We've always said it's the toughest fight he'd had since Lennox Lewis. Yeah?
I was upset. I was like, it's a fight.
Do you remember slapping him at the weigh-in?
Yeah, I did tell all my team. I did tell everybody, like, something's gonna happen to Wayne. But don't worry, the fight will go ahead. Because there's so much. They're like, no, don't. I didn't tell nobody.
You said at the time, when you slapped him, I don't come to play games, I come to fight. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Did you mean that?
Yeah. Did I not come to fight?
I think it's one of your best performances, even though you didn't win. Because you had to knock him out to get a draw in Germany, remember?
I won the fight, but they gave it to him because I slapped him. Basically, listen, that whole thing, like, okay, do you know how much that slap cost me? Most people don't understand. That slap cost me 100 grand. 100 grand cost me.
But you got in his head though, didn't you?
I got in his head though. And then this is what I keep telling you. I can't swear on your thing, bad management. 100 grand cost me. 100 grand. And God forbid, the day I retire, these guys better go in there and start hiding, boy, because I'm going to come and collect my money. The day I announce retirement, if you owe me money, hide. That's what I'm saying.
You go 12 rounds of Vitaly Klitschko in an exhausting fight where you never gave up, you were relentless, You gave him a really difficult time. And then you go to the press conference, Derek.
Yes.
And
I apologize. That's my mother. Mom, I'm on TV. I'm on TV right now. I can't talk. I'm on TV.
Your friend, David Haye, who's working for the broadcast, appears at the back of the press conference room, and he upsets you at the press conference, and you've still got enough in you to get up for another challenge at the press conference. What do you recall from that?
He didn't upset me. It was just, I lost a big fight. I'm looking for another payday.
David Hayes told me in the past that after that happened, obviously you were arrested as well, or interviewed by the German police, really, rather than arrested, weren't you?
I got arrested.
You got arrested?
Me and Don got arrested, yeah.
David Hayes says you hunted him around London. You appeared at restaurants where he was eating. There were even quotes at the time. Was this part of the hustle where you said, you'd said up famously that he'd glassed you and that you were going to get a gun and you were going to kill him?
They made a song about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I was out hunting him, to be honest with you.
How serious were you, Derek, about? Obviously, you were angered by David Haye, as you call it. It was burning inside you.
It was burning, but you know what? I don't.
Have you changed though? I
like David. David actually a cool guy. When you sit down, you get to know. Because I known David for years. When I turned pro, I was gonna box on his bill when he was defending his European title and stuff like that. I seen him around and stuff. So I known him for years.
But if you had run into him, would there have been a street fight?
Yeah.
I remember at the time, Derek. I mean, it's 10 years ago now.
He was going around with a bodyguard. He had a bodyguard. He
told me he was in a West End restaurant once, and he was with the bodyguard, and you came in. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That's when after I had the conversation. But I had goons outside. There was about 6-8 of us outside.
We've seen you go from bad boy, villain of British boxing, to an extraordinarily loved and cult figure. And people love you now. They enjoy you so much. I'm sure you experience that when you're out. You're very popular. You're very well known.
I was booed before. They booed me, man. But I didn't care, though. Do you understand? I never cared. They start walking, boo, boo. And those boos turn into...
Does that mean a lot?
It means a lot. From the ones who are booing to the ones who are cheering, because really and truly, you're still paying to watch me fight. It means a lot. It means a lot to me if somebody goes out, wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning, be the dustbin man, or be the train cleaner or the train driver, wakes up in the morning, does his big hour shifts, gets the overtime pay, and then he goes and buys a £40 ticket to come and watch me fight. It means a lot to me. When I started boxing, I was trying to find where I fit in. I could never be the bouncing toe fighter, but Don Charles gave me the perfect style.
It's like the Frazier. You remind me of Frazier coming in.
Yeah,
peekaboo.
That's how he trained me, and it was when we were coming up. Physically, in boxing, I always say this: if you lose a fight on points, it's more heartbreaking than anything else. But if you get knocked out, it's easier to bounce back from that.
Just let me take you back to the fight with David Haye that we didn't talk about. Obviously, it was a big fight. It was the last fight before the Olympic and Paralympic Games that year. It was a big event at Upton Park. They kept you apart with a steel cage, if you remember. Talk me through your memories of the build-up to that in the end and then the fight.
What was to do with Frank Warren? It's a great build-up. I was in a zone. I didn't know what was happening. It's the biggest fight I've ever been in. Actually, the second one, because the first one was in Munich. And then it was raining. It was sold out. It was buzzing.
Do you and David still talk about that fight?
No. We don't even talk about fights. No. We just talk about life. Fighters don't talk about fights when they meet each other.
Is it weird, though? Because it is weird on the out... Well, not weird, but is it an amazing turnaround that you have this brawl, you've got this anger towards him that you keep inside, you end up fighting him 6 months later, and then 6 years later, you've got a coalition and he's your manager and we see all these videos of him pushing you hard and training you and you get in the best shape. I mean, you're still in fantastic shape. It kind of transformative in some ways. Is that an unusual thing?
No, it's not, because he showed me how to train. I'm not lying to you. He showed me and goes, listen, I know you're training, but now I'm going to show you how to train. If you train harder, the fights are easier. You can go in the 12th round knowing that you got more in the tank than your opponent. There's no need of getting upset with everybody. We can just all get along.
I love it that you call yourself the money-weight fighter. You have become a genuine box office prize fighter.
Yeah, I worked hard for that. Who we got box office here? AJ, Dylan, myself, Tyson Fury. Other heavyweights, they can be that. But how can they be that? To be a box office fighter, it's hard.
You earn it, you're right, you earn it.
You earn it, you don't just give it to you.
It's a following, you need to have that following.
No, you have to put bums on seats first. You have to get people to love you.
2 fights with Dillian Whyte. You had those 2 fights with Dillian Whyte. Do you believe you fully won that first one in Manchester?
Yes. I did. His glove touched the floor when I hit him, when he tripped. There was no count. I did.
It was an amazing fight to watch.
Yeah, it was pound for pound. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. It's
for 12 rounds.
Yeah, man. I was charged up, boy.
Do you dislike Dillian? Is he a massive rival for you?
No, I like Dylan. I don't hate anybody. It's just when we glove up and we're fighting each other, we're enemies. But after that, I don't hate you.
How would you like to be remembered as a boxer?
However they want to. However at that point, as a conversation is at that point. Because you might say you want to be remembered like this, but conversations are different. People will be like, oh man, I used to watch that fighter, Joe Frazier and so. Great fight, that was amazing. But somebody will be like, no, that was not great, but I used to like this guy because he was fighting this way. But it's about how the conversation is going at the time being.
Are you going to stay in boxing when you've retired?
Tell me somebody who's retired from boxing and left boxing and never came back. You can point me one of those so I can follow his rules. Because I know for a fact, you retire from... Everybody's retired. Ricky Hatton retired from boxing. What did he do a couple of weeks later? Open up a gym. Everybody retires from boxing, but they come back through the back door. I want to hold the pads for you. They come back through the door. I'm going to manage. They come back through the door. You can't retire from this. This game is it's like the biggest drug in the whole world. You can't retire from boxing. Yes, you can retire from football and you can go sit on your beach in the Bahamas and stuff like that. But boxing, never. Point me somebody who's, even Floyd Mayweather, the richest man in the game. And guess what he's doing? He's still around boxing. You can't. It's a hard game to leave behind. The only time we leave boxing is when we're 6 feet under. That's it.
Derek, that was truly off the cuff and absolutely brilliant.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.